It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
Yes, indeedy. It is that time again, and this is Monday, unmistakably Monday. You can't miss it. The start of the work week, and off we go. Brian had a story about this gentleman who broke into somebody's house, allegedly, and stole a bunch of stuff, including explosives. And I'm listening to it saying, how many people keep explosives in their house? And, what kind of explosives were they? I'm kind of curious. I don't know. Just wondering. Well,
State Police, if I can comment on that story.
Sure.
State Police said that the explosives belonged to the guy that stole them. It's kind of, I don't know if it was an ex-roommate or what the deal was.
So he was stealing his own explosives back.
Yeah, the impression allegedly. I had was the weapons he had and the explosives he had, he wasn't supposed to have.
Okay, there we go. Well, I was just going to say what a weird weekend of news. And there's one right there. It certainly was weird. Maybe it's just me, the way I was looking at things, but I thought it was a very odd weekend, including the weather. Now, I don't know what happened yesterday. Somebody must have been fooling with a thermostat or something because it was really hot. I mean, I couldn't believe it. We had a high in greater metropolitan Elmond of 95. We had a temperature of 95 and a heat index of 97. Now, where did that come from? I mean, out of nowhere. Because if you recall, last Sunday, which was Mother's Day, I think, right? Yeah. We had a high of 44. And it was a cold rain and windy with a high of 44. Yesterday was 95. Wow. And that's just the beginning. There were a whole bunch of really oddball things this weekend. First of all, I'd like to kind of recap or maybe expand on a story I had Friday. And it was about this new adversity rating that the College Board, the company that administers the SAT exam, unveiled. Now, the adversity rating, in addition to, if you want to enter college or university, you take an SAT exam, right? And in addition to the SAT exam, they now have a new adversity rating, which the College Board calls a measure of disadvantage. And it's meant to help schools diversify their student bodies without looking explicitly at race. And this new adversity rating score includes 31 pieces of information meant to measure social disadvantage across two broad categories. One is the student's neighborhood and the student's school. Now, none of the factors directly reflect an individual student, and all of them are about the census tract in which a student and his or her classmates live. And none of the measures include race or ethnicity. And the way I understand it, which, as I said, I spoke of on Friday, is the goal is to find students who have transcended their environments by examining factors that are correlated, according to research, with lower academic achievement and lower lifetime earnings. And this is pretty complex. Some of the neighborhood factors are, when you're considering an applicant for college or university, median family income, percentage of households in poverty, the percentage of single-parent households, vacant housing units, the percentage of adults without a high school degree, adults without a college degree, and adults with agriculture jobs and unemployment, and crime rates. So that's what they're basing this strange formula on, this adversity scale. So according to the College Board, each of the 31 factors are weighted equally to generate a score between 1 and 100. So that would mean a score of 50 is average level of disadvantage, and higher scores mean a student has faced more adversity, and then, of course, lower scores less adversity. Now, this adversity scale does not affect the student's SAT score. However, it will be shown to admissions officials as part of a bigger package of data about that student. And it's up to the college how to use the adversity measure or whether it'll use it or not. So educators are really excited about this. As a matter of fact, let me see, more than 150 colleges and universities plan to start using it next year. So that'll be 2020. So they're really excited about this. And I have a quote here from somebody or other. Among the scholars who consulted for the College Board was Richard D. Kallenberg. He's a fellow at the Century Foundation and a proponent of class-based affirmative action. He said he would like to see the College Board tool evolve to also include information on a student's individual family. Still, he called the measure, quote, an enormous step forward. And my question is, a step forward into what? Because what this is doing is quantifying victimhood. So if you're more of a victim of whatever, everything else being equal, you would be admitted to a college over somebody who scored the same on the SAT score, but were not quite as disadvantaged as you. So what it's doing essentially is punishing applicants for having a better life. And if you think about it, that's exactly what they're doing. If you have a better life as a kid or, whatever, if you have a better life, then you stand less of a chance, everything else being equal, of being admitted to a school than a person who has more adversity in their life. So as I said, it's really like quantified victimhood. And that to me, I mean, you could figure it out yourself. You could probably figure it out better than I can. But why would you punish applicants for having a better life? And that's exactly what this is doing. Now, in very much a related story, earlier, let me see, a number of months ago, on the Fridays at 8 show, I made up a game purely as a joke called the Outrage Game. And what it did, but the idea of the game was a bunch of like-minded people to sit around a table, and they express their outrage over certain social issues. It could be what somebody said, what somebody did, some news story, something you don't like, and you express your total outrage over this thing. And at the end of the game, whoever expressed the greatest outrage over the greatest number of issues won the game. And if I recall, I think the winner got a free session with a mental health specialist or something. Only I did it for comic effect. I exaggerated for comic effect. So I exaggerated outrage. I quantified outrage. These people are quantifying victimhood, only they mean it. And it's not a game. This is going to affect college admissions, which in fact will affect a person's entire life. So I was joking, and they're not. And I think the whole thing is kind of strange, and you could probably figure that one out for yourself. Okay, what else? Well, as I said, a pretty odd weekend. The Preakness. That had to be, as a matter of fact, it was the most unique. No, most unique is wrong. Either a thing is unique or not. Okay, fine. It was the 144th Preakness race, and nothing like this had ever happened in the Preakness, although it has happened in the past. Matter of fact, you heard that right here. Westwood won, 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon. The Preakness, bong, right here. And at the start of the race, this one horse, Bodie Express, is not feeling kind of a little antsy in the gate there, and the gate's open, and they're off, and he takes like 2 steps out and goes, and he dumps his jockey. So now Pga Express has no jockey. Only Pga Express said, hey, this is kind of fun. I think I'll run the race anyway. So without having a jockey on him and nobody to drive him or steer him or whatever you do with horses, off he goes. And these horses are racing around a track, and Pga Express is right there. He's at the back of the track. And he's doing a pretty good job, as a matter of fact. So this horse takes off. There's no jockey. And there were videos all over YouTube yesterday. You can go to practically any site, and there was Pga Express running without a jockey. And toward the end of the race, now they're trying to get this horse under control. These outriders or something trying to get out there and get this horse out of the race, and he doesn't want to stop. He's having a heck of a good time. Nice fast track. Everybody's having fun. He's running with his bros. So toward the end of the race, he started to pass horses. So he passes one horse, and then he passes another horse, and Pga Express is really having a good old time. So, well, of course, okay. I think he wasn't disqualified. I think they marked him as not running or not having run or something, whatever it was. So he can't blame the horse, can't blame the jockey. It just happened. So after the race is over, old Pga Express takes another lap around the track, like a victory lap. It was kind of strange. It had to be the strangest thing. Now, as I said, I'm told that this has happened in the past, but not at the Preakness. So he ran the whole race without a jockey, which is just a little unusual. Maybe at a lesser race or something, at a lesser track, but not at the Preakness. Not in the Triple Crown. And speaking of which, I think the Belmont is in 2 more weeks, in a week or two, which we will carry. Westwood 1 live coverage of the Belmont. So there we have that. And that was just a little out there. Now what? Where are we here? I was going to do, yes, right. Oh, the Pga Championship, which we also carried yesterday afternoon, courtesy of Westwood 1, their coverage. And I still don't see how guys on the radio can possibly call a golf game, because as I said in the past, golf is not a radio-friendly sport. But in some fashion, they did it. So, Brooks Koepka, who is an A-lister golfer, this guy is number 1. He is top of the line. He goes into Sunday, he is 7 shots ahead. Now, if you don't play golf, if you do, you know what 7 shots ahead means on the last day of a 4-day tournament. Okay, that's big. That's a massive lead. 7 shots, only 1 game left, or 1 round left. And that's a big, big lead, but something, I don't know what happened to him. He kind of melted down, and he almost blew it. I mean, he almost blew it. He wound up just 1 shot ahead at the end of the tournament. So, golf is a funny game. That's putting it mildly, especially when I play. It's not really good golf, but it certainly is entertaining. I'll say that. Golf is a weird game. You go out there one day and you know how to play. Everything's going right. You can hit the ball. You're doing this and that. And the very next day, you go out there, you can't do anything. I mean, it's weird. It's a very, very strange game. Even at the pro level. Even at the PGA Masters level, they have bad days too. And yesterday was not Brooks Koepka's best day. However, he did win the tournament, so that kind of makes up for a lot. So that happened there, and he almost blew a 7-shot lead with just 1 round left. That was amazing. And that's right. This is kind of interesting. Now, CBS was covering it on TV. And there was a crucial shot. I mean, a crucial shot on the last round. And this, as I said, this was on Sunday. And everybody who's watching TV and not listening on the radio, they want to see this shot because it's very, very important. Just a couple of holes left. So CBS, for some inexplicable reason, right as he's about to, take the shot, they break away. They broke away. And people watching this thing going, wait a minute, what happened? They break away to an interview, which they could have done any old time. It was just a throwaway interview, but they cut away. So apparently golf fans they are up in arms. They're really up in arms over this thing. I mean, they're really angry because they wanted to see the shot. It was a crucial shot. It was the second shot on the final hole, I believe, the second shot of the final hole. And this was really important because he had a little teeny, slim little lead. And they just broke away for some weird reason. I don't know who's responsible for something like that, but somebody's going to have a talking to or something. So anyway, that was CBS, not Westwood One. Then what else have we here? We have so much going. Oh, that's right. How much time? The Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones. Okay, the Game of Thrones. Last night was the final episode of the Game of Thrones. That's long-running series on TV. And I don't watch Game of Thrones, but a lot of people do. And matter of fact, once you have your own initials on the internet, GOT, that's big time. Okay, you've really hit the big time. And GOT is really big on the internet, Game of Thrones. So as of last night, 1 million people, have signed a petition online demanding that HBO redo the entire final number of shows of Game of Thrones, season, right? Yeah, season. They're demanding that HBO redo the whole thing. And I'm saying, culturally, I think we've lost our mind. Why do these people think that HBO would redo the entire series? That's bizarre. These things cost millions and millions and millions of dollars. But they didn't like the ending. They didn't like the final season of Game of Thrones, and they want HBO to do it again. What are these people thinking? Do they think that HBO is going to do this all again? You're watching a pretend thing. It's make-believe. It's a movie. Let's pretend we're, this and that. That's what it is. But these people, have they nothing better to do than sign a petition online? And HBO is going to redo the whole thing? That's really weird. I mean, as a culture, I think we've lost our mind. I don't mean that in a rhetorical sense. I mean, I think that we really have, or very close to it. That's what the show is about, honestly. I don't talk about the really important issues here. I mean, culturally, we've just gone mad. We really have. So that's like reading a novel by, let's say, Charles Dickens or something. And you say, I didn't like the way it ended. Maybe somebody ought to, rewrite it. You can't do that. That's the story, and that's the story. I mean, take it or leave it, I don't know what. I have no idea. It's very, very strange. Okay, are we taking a break? I think we are taking a break. We'll be back.
New to golf or seasoned veteran, you'll enjoy the casual, relaxed atmosphere of Vander Golf Course. 2 miles from downtown Alfred on Waterwells Road, Vander is a 9-hole executive-length golf course with a driving range on one side of the road and the course on the other. Family-friendly and fun recreation for everyone. Greens fees are one price for unlimited play, $9.50. High school students, only $5. Children 12 and under with an adult, no charge. You can play up to 18 holes or 9 holes with a cart and get the second 9 holes at no additional charge. Ladies and senior golfers who don't hit the long ball, Vanderview's got the executive length that's just right for your game. And new this year, a season pass for only $100. That's a lot of golfing fun for a very little bit of money. Vanderview Golf Course, 2 miles from downtown Alfred on Waterwells Road. Vanderview Golf Course.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
In the NBA playoffs, Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals saw the Raptors beat the Bucks 118-112 in double overtime. Kawhi Leonard had 36 points for Toronto. For Milwaukee, their top 2 players had tough shooting nights. Giannis Antetokounmpo had just 12 points on 5 of 16 from the field. Chris Middleton 9 points on 3 of 16 shooting. Milwaukee, though, still has a 2-1 series lead. NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals saw the Blues beat the Sharks in San Jose 5-0. Jaden Schwartz had a hat trick for St. Louis. Now has 12 goals this postseason, and Jordan Binnington made 21 saves in net in the shutout. St. Louis grabs a 3-2 series advantage. In golf at the PGA Championship, Brooks Koepka goes wire to wire, held off Dustin Johnson to win back-to-back PGA Championships. Koepka held a 7-shot lead to start the final round, ended up with a 2-stroke victory. It's his 4th win in his last 8 majors. In baseball games of note, the Yankees beat the Rays 13-5. New York moves past Tampa Bay and into first place in the AL East by a half game.
Today at Simmons Rockwell Ford, receive up to $2,500 in Ford trade assistance assistance with your 99 or newer vehicle trade. Now purchase a new 2019 Ford Escape SE 4x4, equipped with heated power seat, 8-inch touchscreen display, and alloy wheels with Ford Trade Assistance buy for only $21,999. Shop the Simmons Rockwell Ford dealership near you. Simmons-Rockwell.com.
And we are back. Now, Brian was telling me during the break about throwing milkshakes at conservative speakers.
In Scotland. It's a new trend over in Scotland.
It's a fad. Yeah.
It's a trend where people who don't like conservative speakers like Tommy Robinson and Nigel Farage are throwing milkshakes. And it's been happening so much lately.
Any special flavor or just any old milkshake?
I don't know.
Okay.
Apparently, it's been happening so much lately that the police in Edinburgh, Scotland, have ordered McDonald's, please stop selling milkshakes when conservative speakers are talking near their McDonald's locations.
Okay. So what about the liberal speakers? Anything there or just conservatives?
Apparently, it's only happening to people like Tommy Robinson and Brexit supporters, it's just kind of a weird phenomenon, throwing milkshakes.
As I said, I guess this cultural insanity knows no bounds. It doesn't stop at our country's borders. Okay. Yesterday's weather. Oh my Lord, boy was it hot. So yesterday we are plagued by bamboo. And I mean plagued by bamboo. We have bamboo is, I think it's a grass, but boy, does it grow. It could grow like 4 or 5 inches in a day, overnight. I'm not making this up. Unless you have bamboo on your property, you don't know. But it's amazingly fast growing, and it's unstoppable. You can't really do anything about it. Like, just keep hacking and hacking and hacking at it and hope it kind of slows down or something. So yesterday, being the hottest day we've had in a long, long time, as I said, we had a high of 95 and a heat index of 97. I chose yesterday to start hacking down the bamboo. Good timing. Really, really good timing. So we have about 80 yards. I've measured it, about 80 yards of real thick bamboo along the riverbank. I know on one side of it is the Canacadea Creek. On the other side is the Canacadea Creek. When it goes through our property, it's the Almond River. I'm just saying it's all in marketing. So we have about 80 yards of bamboo that goes from the back of our yard all the way down to the water's the water, which is a distance of about 30 feet. From the top of our property down to the water is about 30 feet. And it's a very steep bank because the water is about maybe 15 feet below the ground level. Okay, so it's a steep bank, and it is nothing but solid bamboo. I mean, 80 yards of it, all the way down to the creek. Well, that and a couple of trees. So it's a real problem. It's like this: our property extends on the other side of the river. But when the bamboo's growing, you can't see it. I figure we're paying taxes on that land. We ought to be able to see it, if nothing else. So I'm out there hacking away at this bamboo. And it's 95. And they're going, this is ridiculous. This is crazy. I have an old-fashioned a grass whip and a what's called a sling blade. So I'm switching off between the two. I'm hacking away at this bamboo. And it's ridiculous. I mean, it was crazy. So I got about 20 yards of bamboo all the way down to the water, cut down. And I figured, okay, that's it. I think I've had it. 20 yards is plenty. So that was real. I mean, it was amazingly hot. It's going to be a little cooler this week, so maybe I'll try it again. Or maybe I'll take a day off and then I'll try it maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. Eventually I'll have it done. So there's only, 60 yards left. It can't be too hard. And, I've thought that, as I said, getting rid of bamboo is really hard. It's hardy. It is. And I'm thinking, so I told my wife yesterday, I said, I wonder if I could contact the Air Force. Okay, I make a deal with the Air Force and have them do a run and drop napalm on the bamboo. That might work. And Patty says, do you think maybe our neighbor might complain? And I said, well, I don't see why not. I mean, I don't see why. Why would he complain? So I don't know if I will or not, but it certainly is a problem. And anyway, I think Almond is zoned against napalm. I'm pretty sure. I got to check on that. Anyway, okay, napalm would work though. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow at 8:05. Bye.